This is how David Baszucki destroyed Roblox in one night, and no one would expect the reason for this. But if you already didn't know, David Baszucki is a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, Roblox, but recently he has been in so much drama that it has ruined Roblox's reputation. From him getting banned on Roblox, to him most likely being on the Epstein list, to him also being the reason Roblox lost $12 billion, and much, much more. But before all of that, if you guys can subscribe to my channel today to get me to 10,000 subscribers today, so subscribe. But David Baszucki was on an interview recently that he fumbled completely, and made everyone absolutely hate him. On November 21st, 2025, two interviewers interviewed David Baszucki, and I'm gonna read the transcripts for you guys, because the things that David Baszucki said ruined his career forever, and this could be the end of Roblox. And the transcripts start like this. This summer, the gaming platform Roblox hit a new milestone. More than 25 million users. At the same time, played Steal a Brainrot, one of the hit games on the site. Now my conspiracy theory brain here is just making me think that Steal a Brainrot paid them to say this, because there couldn't have been anyone that legitimately liked this game enough for it to be mentioned in a New York Times article. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Though the company has almost been around for 20 years, its popularity has exploded among children since the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, Roblox has more than 150 million daily active users and functions as one of the most primary online gathering places for teens, unlike Instagram, TikTok, and Discord, which require users to be at least 13 to make an account. Roblox allows users as young as 5 to join. Now, sorry if I butchered any of that, I'm kinda dyslexic. And I've had so many energy drinks if you can't tell, so bear with me. But what company allows anyone to sign up to anything when they're 5 years old? They have to just be crazy for that. But trust me, it gets way worse throughout this video. But who really thought that it was a good idea to make it so kids can join an app for when they are 5 or older? Obviously it was David Baszucki, because he has no fucking mind. And this is also the guy that tried to introduce the dating app to a gaming website made for kids. And so many worse things that I'm gonna be stating throughout the rest of the video. But they're seriously lacking in control of how to take care of the kids that are on their platform when there are so many pedophiles that are actually on their game. Because David Baszucki has no idea what he's fucking doing and doesn't know how to run his own gaming company. It's literally like if they went to the worst high school ever and then just picked a random kid out that had the worst IQ ever to run Roblox straight into the ground. And I don't even give David Baszucki that much credit, because I don't even think he means to do this bad. I honestly think he's trying to do good, but failing miserably. And you will truly see how much he's failed miserably later in this video. Because the stuff that he does is truly miserable. Because you can clearly tell this guy thinks he has more problems on his hands other than protecting kids. But precisely because Roblox is so popular with children, it has also attracted the attention of adult predators. 3 states, Louisiana, Kentucky, and Texas, have filed lawsuits against Roblox over child safety issues. And over more than 20 plus lawsuits accusing Roblox of enabling exploitation has been filed in federal court this year. Now, if you can clearly tell, Roblox does not give a fuck about the kids on their app, and you will clearly tell that later on in this video, because that shit is crazy. Like, you are clearly causing a problem if all these states and all of these, like, lawsuits are on you all at once, especially all in the same year. And that AI that they came out with to actually fix this issue will not help. Because how do I say this correctly? It's so inaccurate and it's not gonna work. And how is it that 20 plus lawsuits believe that you're enabling child? Well, David Baszucki, it's kind of because you're basically directly inviting them to your platform by adding dating to your platform. And especially because of what you say during the rest of this video, it's kind of crazy. And usually YouTubers stay out of this type of thing, but literally Schlepp is also suing you for similar things that happened. And it's kind of ironic because you're the one that usually sues YouTubers, so that's funny. And also, the last time I could have thought of another company being sued by a state had to have been Windows back in the early 2000s. So clearly there are real concerns to do with these lawsuits that Roblox just isn't working on. Because if they were really thinking about this in a logical way, they would fire David Baszucki, especially because of what happens later in this video. Because if I was one of the chairmen on the board to like vote people out, I would vote him out immediately. And the funniest part about the Schlepp situation is you literally deliberately made it so someone stopped getting predators off of your platform by suing someone getting the predators off of the platform. Because apparently you're taking the viewers off of the platform. Because they're literally directly your problem that you guys are absolutely doing nothing about, and you guys will hear about them doing nothing about this later on in the video for them making excuses and David Baszucki doing terribly in that podcast. Like, I know I'm dumb, but David Baszucki seems to be dumber than me, and that's fucking surprising. Because the answers that he gives for doing this is actually wild later on in this video. Roblox, for its part, continues to ship new safety features, including new facial age examination software that the company announced this week, but the question remains, are these safeguards enough? Absolutely not. Because as I said earlier, it is extremely inaccurate, and I actually made a video about this that you should go and watch. But I'll give you a brief summary of what was in that video. Creekcraft was talking about a new update that they had, where he was basically talking about the fact that Roblox was adding a facial ID feature that was hosted by AI softwares that got even his age extremely wrong. Where in my video, I show that it says that he was like 18 to 20 when he is literally 28. That is literally 10 years off of its original guess, and then only 8 years off of its next guess. Now, if that doesn't show how extremely inaccurate it is, it really should, which is why I discourage you all to stop doing that. Because the only bad thing that can happen is if you don't do that is you just can't type to anyone, which is fine. Just don't do that. Because companies should not know what your face looks like ever, especially multi-billion-dollar companies like this that are ran by CEOs as dumb as him. To talk about the company's approach to safety, we spoke with Roblox's co-founder-in-chief, David Baszucki. Here's our conversation, lightly edited for clarity and length. That whole conversation just better not have happened, because what they're doing for safety just doesn't exist. But unfortunately, he decided to go on an interview to actually embarrass himself in front of the whole internet. And I'm here to read it out to you guys for internet clout. So please like right now to get me to 100 likes. Casey Newton. David Baszucki, welcome to Hard Fork. David Baszucki, it is great to be here. Thank you. Newton, you have joined us here today to talk about this new age policy that Roblox is rolling out to protect kids. And I think we should just start by just talking about the scope of the problem here, what has led you to this point, and how you think of the problem of predators on Roblox. So as you see, they're having a civil conversation where everyone can talk equally and not be interrupted. Well, that's gonna get way worse throughout the rest of this video, so stay tuned because it just gets way worse. But if you don't know what they're talking about, they're just talking about what I talked about earlier with the Creekcraft stuff. So just go back and watch that, or just watch this video. We think of it not necessarily just as a problem, but an opportunity. David Baszucki, what do you mean an opportunity? It's a kids platform with on it. What do you mean? How do we allow young people to build, communicate, and hang out together? How do we build the features to communications at the same time? So we've been, I think in a good way, working on this ever since we started. Well, you've been doing a very terrible job, David Baszucki. And this was almost 18 or 19 years ago, when we first launched the company, and we had just 4 of us sitting in a room. We were literally the moderators. I can't imagine how bad that was when David Baszucki was a moderator. Like, we would rotate all the time. So fast forward to where we are today, it's just like every week, what is the latest tech at the scale that we're at? 150 million daily active, 11 billion hours a month. Like, what is the best way to keep pushing forward? And as you currently note, we've just started adding that we're going to be using federal age with AI to complete that. But just before I give my input on his comment, I just have to say something fucking crazy. Because isn't dyslexia just like a fucking great thing? It made me have to do so many cuts while reading that it almost sounds like an AI was doing what I was doing. But I actually read that. Just don't blame me in the comment section and just like this video, please. But there are so many red flags with what David Baszucki just said that it kind of hurts my brain. Like, how is David Baszucki ever a moderator? I don't understand that. He does such a terrible job at being CEO that he had to be a moderator, didn't he? Like, literally anyone else on the team back then would have done a better job at CEO, nonetheless moderator. Now let's just talk about the part that I think you guys actually want me to talk about and how he called it an opportunity. Kind of how I already mentioned it, but I'll talk about it a bit more. How many brain cells did you lose while making Roblox? Because it had to have been a few. 1,000. Because let's just replace this CEO with someone else, like Elon Musk, for example. If Elon Musk were to say that exact same thing, he would be impeached from Twitter. And I already think that David Baszucki shouldn't even be CEO because of half the stuff he's been doing. But I'm actually sad to say this, but it gets way worse. But Newton had to reply to it like this. Right, so tell us a little bit more about how it works. All users of Roblox now, if they want to communicate with each other, they're going to have to submit some kind of face scan. And then David Baszucki decides to reply with such a stupid thing that you can't even imagine. Here it is. That's correct. And I think long term, face scans isn't the only signal. Like, mathematically, the more signals that can be convoluted, the better accuracy and the better we can get it. So we already have signals, we have behavior signals, we have photo ID upload signals, we have user suggested age, but we're complementing that with facial age signal that literally, in an ephemeral way, use your phone, use your PC, scan an image, do a good AI, the image isn't stored, I don't believe that at all, and start using that to complement all the other things, and we already do a pile of stuff. We have very, very good text filters, there's no image sharing, we're doing a bunch of monitoring, but adding one more signal to that can really help us make more cool decisions. Well, this was definitely not a cool decision for you guys to be making, because coming on this interview had to have been the worst thing that you ever did, because everything that you just said was just a bunch of bull bullshit. Technical bullshit that was supposed to get you out of something that you're already firmly in. And if you already thought that that was dumb, it gets even stupider throughout the rest of this video. And trust me, I really mean that. And the reason why this is so dumb in the first place, because this is a multi-billion-dollar company, as I've just said. And if they were to just spend $1 billion on hiring better moderators and not just trash ones that they buy on Etsy, they'd be able to get the pedophiles off without having to get people to upload their Face ID or their IDs. But anyways, if you want a further in-depth view on this video, just watch this one by my friend. But moral of the story, if you're gonna be a CEO, don't be a dumb and go on an interview saying things that just don't even answer the question.